Ooh, I don't know that sounded like I should be reassured or kind of creeped out by that. Her voice is a little weird. You know what I mean? Okay. So what I'm going to do just to get the ball rolling here and to get us used to stuff is find our strawberry and give it a good shake. Find our jigger. Take the plastic off. Very helpful.
That's what that is.
And then a really skinny 1/4 ounce, like low. If you can see in there. Oh, no, you can't. It's so low you can't see in there. But like under a 1/4, just a little bit. Under a 1/4, just a little bit. Now, these glasses are also not listed on your sheet because I figured we're just going to start with just a quick taste. Then we're going to take our bitters. We're going to practice dashing. You know, a drop is just a drop, but a dash is like hot sauce. So we're going to go hot sauce dash, and then because we're really just practicing our fundamentals, we're going to open our sparkling wine. So this cava that some of you got through us, if you've got other stuff, hopefully you got at least Brut level method champenois bubbles. Method champenois just means made in the champagne method. And usually, since the champagne folks told the other folks, please stop using our name in any way, usually it'll say some variation of method traditionnel or traditional method, or depending on what language they speak in the country they make the bubbles. But that's your clue that they made it according to the champagne method, which we can talk about at length later. But at any rate, I think you're under something like 7 or 9 atmospheres of pressure. Anyway, a whole bunch of pressure. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the foil off like that. You can even take it all off if you want. I want. And then this is how you properly open the bottle. Take the top with the cages on. Now the cage is on there for a real reason. This is under a lot of pressure. So when we take this thing off, we want to be extremely careful. We don't put an eye out. A. B, I hope it's really, really cold. Because we want bubbly drinks tonight, and CO2, carbon, stays in liquid at temperature, meaning the colder it is, before you freeze it, the colder it is, the better it holds on to the bubbles. And we want bubbles. So we're going to do this. 1, these are half turns. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you'll see it's loose. Don't take your thumb off the top. We're just going to shake it loose like this. Remember, thumb's still on the top. Now, with thumb still on the top, we're going to replace the thumb with our hand. And then we're just going to turn the bottom of the bottle, just like a 1/4 turn. And then a 1/4 turn the other way. And then back and forth. And you can feel the, there, get near my mic. So you can hear. That's as loud as you ever want to hear it, right? That means you did it right. I mean, when it makes a big pop, that's fun. But when it doesn't, that means you did it right. So I'm going to put just the skimpiest little 2 ounces in here. Think of this as a amuse booze, if you will. I'm going to put that back on the ice. And a little toast. Welcome.
I did it
Cheers.
right, Shannon.
Of course you did, John. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, John. Happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Cheers. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. We're getting there. Easy, breezy. Like if you have some folks over this holiday season and you did this, you could make a little sweeter if you wanted with some more syrup. You could back down on sweet if that's what you preferred. But you could also garnish with a little strawberry here, and then it would be like that. You could also try this same exact trick with raspberry syrup or any kind of like fruit, berry, passion fruit is nice. And it's really easy to make something very simple. When you're having guests over, you don't want to spend the entire night making drinks. Just something like that, a 1/4 ounce, and you could make it drier just by pouring them a full glass of sparkling and leaving the measurement at a 1/4. Okay, I wanted to give you something you could sip on while we talk through some, the fundamentals. So what we need for tonight, what the optional thing was strawberry, and we'll use that as a garnish, lemon or lime. So that depends on the spirit you're using, and we'll get to that in the second cocktail. I've decided I'm going to use a spirit that will favor lime. So I'm going to use my little cutting board, which is not right here. But Claire's going to get it for me. I recommend to Claire.
What spirit are you using, Shannon?
I don't know yet. But I've narrowed it down to either gin, Genever, tequila, or a white rum from Martinique. So one of those things, and all of those things like lime. So that way I can start by juicing. Hold on one second. I can start by sipping. There we go. So we're not using citrus to garnish anything tonight. So I'm just gonna cut these guys in half. And if I'm underprepared, which I often am, then I can just squeeze this right into a tin to save the juice. But I happen to have my handy dandy hand juicer. I'm gonna pop that guy in, aim it down, and there you go. Any way you do it, fresh juice is essential. What was that?
So you said
Sure.
with gin, it's lime. And what would you pair with lemon?
Barrel-aged spirits, I would like. So this was the point in the show where part of my stall was going to be asking y'all what you brought. So what do we choose as our spirit of choice? Welcomes? What'd you choose?
I can tell you what I chose.
Oh, please.
Gin.
Gin. Okay.
Yeah.
So gin loves strawberry. Everybody loves strawberry. That's why we chose strawberry for this one. But gin also likes lime. Is it going to be a good drink with lemon? Oh yeah, it would be. But I'd use lime.
Sounds good. I love both of those.
Excellent. Anybody else?
Tequila.
Tequila. Excellent. Well, Cheryl, lime and tequila are, there's nothing strange about them being bedfellows.
Instead of the gin?
I don't know.
Would-
Well,
Katati?
well, we had no idea, but we already have most everything. I mean,
Okay.
so
What are you in the mood for tonight?
well, you just threw a twist in there. So we had heard a rumor that gin might be a good thing. So we have the gin bottle out, but someone sitting next to me just went, "Oh, maybe we should do tequila."
I had that similar thought about 20 minutes ago. Claire and I were talking about how
Okay, there's the
delicious
tequila.
an idea tequila
Wait a
could
minute,
be.
is that the tequila or the mezcal?
Ooh,
Tequila. Okay.
both
right.
love strawberry. Like nothing like strawberry quite as much as agave spirit. So either way, you're good. And since you have the both, I assume you like them both. And knowing you, I know you like them both. But if the only concern would be how big a flavor mezcal was for folks that weren't excited about it. That's not you, however. Okay, so Danny, how's the Tennessee contingent? What do we bring to the party?
We brought tequila.
Outstanding. I love the hats. Outstanding. Great, great, great. Okay. So-
How well would vodka work?
Vodka works fine. Curtis.
Yes.
Yeah, I see how you are. That was not Curtis? Who was that?
This is Curtis.
Who asked about the vodka? Oh, What are you doing? Just drink that.
Okay.
Curtis, I
Hold on.
noticed you don't have the elaborate bar that you and Patty usually rock in the background.
Yeah, yeah. I got alternate location. So.
Okay, me too. Okay, who asked about vodka?
Oh, sorry, that was me.
Okay, you don't look anything like your picture.
I know. That's my
Um,
wife. That's my wife. We're both here with a friend. This is Justin.
Outstanding. Well, welcome. So
Thanks.
vodka gets along with everything, right? For good or for better or worse, vodka's not going to argue with anything. So yes, vodka, of course. You could go lime for something crisper and bigger, or you could go lemon for something really understated. But I like the combination of flavors with lime and strawberry more than I like strawberry and lemon. But either one's going to work.
Sounds great.
It's going to be tasty either way. It's just a matter of whether the marriage of lime and strawberry is important to you or not.
I'm doing lemon and gin because I'm saving my limes for rum drinks.
Outstanding. Okay, so John's just shown you how you write menus. Okay, this is a lemon drink because I need lime over here. Excellent. Okay, well then let's go ahead and have a sip of that. Talk quickly about glassware. This is what I mean by coupe, champagne coupe. If you want a flute, you can use a traditional flute. You can use one of these like short, squat, Pilsner looking flutes. You can, I like to use a wine glass. So we're going to do, and this is the double old fashioned, and this is a Collins. So let me look, I don't have which glasses I'm using. Collins, wine glass, or coupe. So for coupe, I'm going to go ahead and put my ice in all those stemware, certainly, and make sure a little water on top. Looks like that. You can see what I did. Okay. Let's see if we're in camera angle here or not. Okay, so we're going to let that chill there. I'm going to take this Collins right here. Same trick. If you have plenty of room in your freezer, just throw them in there. But if you don't, this works just fine. There we go. And I'm not gonna make this cold. You'll see why. And we'll put that to the side. This isn't just in case you have that rare breed like Curtis does. You could just put it in here. No, I mean this particular one, Curtis.
So if we have the wine glass in the freezer, should we take it out?
No. It's going to work out fine. It's going to work just fine. But it's going to be fine. In fact, it's going to be excellent. Okay, so the first drink we're calling that Spring's Blush. So, which is a funny name. I think we're just dreaming of spring at this time, right? So it's going to be mostly Cava with a little bit of our Cocchi Americano Bianco. Americano Bianco, this is pretty much the one. Americano is a category of fortified aromatized wines. Think vermouth, that's an aromatized fortified wine. But most time, Americano are red. So that's why this one's called Americano Bianco. A lot of bartenders, including everybody at Alley, use in place of classic cocktails that used to call for Lillet, quina Lillet. So quina Lillet, as the name suggests, quina had quinine in it. If you buy Lillet now, it just says Lillet, and it tastes different. Like if it's got quinine in it, you can't really perceive it anymore. So this Cocchi Americano Bianco kind of scratches that itch of an aromatized fortified wine that still has a noticeable amount of both quina and a little gentian. Yep. If you don't have Cocchi, she used Dolin Blanc or Lillet Blanc. Okay. I think Lillet is going to be closer. It's going to be closer. I'll leave it at that. No, I think you're good. That's going to be the closest we're going to get, unless you, no, that's going to be the closest you got. Lillet. So Lillet is just going to be missing just a hint of quinine. Another drop of bitters will probably get you right in the same ballpark, but you may not need even to go that far. Okay, so before we do any of this drink, I'm going to get some garnishes. So we have a bunch of strawberry. We have at least 2 strawberry garnishes to cut. So this is how I like to do it. You can see the florid on top. I'm just going to trim. You can do it one of 2 ways. So my strawberry is not round, right? It's a little fatter than it is long like that. So wide ways, you can just take your knife and go right about halfway down. That's one way to do it. And the other way to do it is to take it and cut on one side of the floret, and then the other side of the floret, and then take it and cut it halfway down. So one way is going to be sitting like that, and the other one is the whole strawberry. You can do it either way. Depends on the shape of your glass and what you think would look good. But the advantage of trimming it up is that you have snacks. Oh, yeah. Okay. So the first one, you can just build this in a glass if you want. The downside of that is if you're champagne or your sparkling wine, we're not drinking champagne. This cava, which is delicious, it's just not champagne. It's cava. If you put something in the glass besides something at this temperature, the resultant drink is going to be warmer. That might be okay if you have like a half an ounce or less of fluid. But since we're putting in 3/4 of an ounce, we're going to do a little cheat here. We're going to take a tin and we're going to build our half ounce. Nope, this is quarter. Sorry. Our 1/4 ounce of strawberry. Notice I shook it. We've all done this before, but got to say it every time. 1/4 ounce of strawberry. And you know, we like the sticky first, so we can clean it out. With Cocchi, I have a little cheater bottle of Cocchi. Half an ounce of that. So in here so far, we have a 1/4 ounce of the strawberry, a half an ounce of Cocchi, and we're gonna put 1 dash of Peychaud right in there. I love how Peychaud and strawberry go together. There's kind of there's an herbaceousness about Peychaud's bitters, and there's that anise quality that just really, really work well. It's not just that they're color coordinated. Okay, so we're gonna take this. You could shake it if you want. Honestly, you don't have to go through all that trouble. You just give it a spin. We just want to make sure that it's not warm. It hits our coupe, right? And if I don't shake it, I'm going to get less ice chips. I don't honestly want to dilute this too much. Where shaking would give me the maximum dilution. Because I want all my extra volume of fluid to be delicious, cold, sparkling wine. And there we go. Four ounces. And then we're going to spoil ourselves with the big strawberry garnish there. There we have it. That's the Springs. What was that? Talk about the wine I'm hearing. Outstanding. Does everybody Everybody follow along? Were there any questions? I can't see from here, but we're getting a little, she's gonna,
Did you,
Everyone
There it
okay
is.
here?
go, everybody got it?
did you add the sparkling wine to the shaker or to the glass?
No, I didn't. I added it to the glass.
Got
I
it.
strained, just strained it into the glass and did that. There are some occasions where I'll do what you said, but this is not one of them. I'll do that sometimes with a shake and drink like a mojito, where you'll shake it, and sometimes you'll put a little bit of sparkling in the tin right before you pour it out. So it rolls like that. That's one technique you could do, but not with this necessarily. Okay, everybody got it?
And Shannon, after you add the bubbly, do you do anything else to get
No.
the?
Well, I
Nope.
garnished it,
Yeah, and then you drink it. Cool, good.
then I drink it. Yeah. But which is I'm waiting to do until I see more folks. I can see their glasses. Ah, nice. John, how's that?
I'm enjoying it.
I'm
And-
glad.
And bubbly is not my normal thing, so the extra bits of flavor are very appreciated. This is very tasty.
Outstanding. Other thoughts? Okay, got a lot of thumbs up. I like that.
It's certainly more complex than just the strawberry and the champagne.
Yes.
So I like that.
yes. Good. So we're kind of trying to, you're catching on. I'm gonna give, every drink is gonna be the similar palette, but a little more complex every time, right? And sometimes if you're having a party, you don't want the world's most complex thing. And sometimes you want to think about your drink.
I think that's absolutely delicious.
I'm so glad you like it. Me too. But I do like strawberry.
I have yet to strawberries. Who does not like them?
Oh, yes. Okay, so while we have a second, while we're all sipping, relaxing, enjoying, for those of you who got the wine from us, you got Avinyo Cava Reserva. This wine, actually this specific wine, is the one that did something that those of you who've done a number of these know that I personally love, which is be proof wrong. I thought I didn't like Cava. And then I tasted this. And it's one of the many times that something is proven to me that if you don't like something, it's probably because you haven't had the good one yet. I really like this. And it's proof to me that there's plenty of places in the world that can make really high quality sparkling wine, even if they're following method champenois practice or method traditionnel. How are they calling it? I keep saying these words interchangeably. But they're just saying Brut. They're not even promising you a method. I love that. They don't care. At any rate, this is really lovely stuff by one of my favorite importers. And what makes the difference between Cava, which is Spanish, and Champagne, which is only from the Champagne method or the Champagne region of France. The most part, since the methodology, which is what Champagne is most famous for, like how you make a wine that's sparkling, and this sparkling is what they're most famous for. So the difference ends in grape selection and some terroir and some barrel usage. A lot of champagne houses like a lot more barrels, so you end up getting these like a lot more toast on them. And that can be good. Also, what's nice sometimes is less barrel, so you can taste more of the fruit. So you can do, they both can be good. So we're using this Cava. I like to use this Cava for a number of reasons. It's Brut. Brut is a level of dryness, that B-R-U-T, for those of you not terribly familiar with sparkling wine. The way that sparkling wines like this are made is a practice that many people give an old monk whose name was Perignon. You might have heard of Dom Perignon. He is often given credit with helping with this method. The method is they start with a pretty obnoxious acidic wine. Not very great wine. They start with this really lean wine on purpose. And then they add still wine. And then they add some sugar and some yeast. And the yeast eats the sugar and makes what yeast, when eating sugar, makes, which is alcohol and CO2. So they start with a lower alcohol wine and then add sugar and yeast to eat the sugar, because one of the benefits of yeast eating sugar is CO2. So they trap that CO2 in the bottle, and then right before they change the crown cap or the old soda pop cap and take the dead yeast out of, and then they'll back in some of the original wine, and then they'll add sugar, just a little bit of sugar. And at that moment, right before they put the cork back in, or the cork in to begin with, is when they decide the style. So if they add the most sugar, you're going to get a dessert sparkling wine. It'll be Milieu, I believe. Very rare to see that. A little less sugar, and they'll have what they call demi-sec, which literally means half dry. We would call that sweet. A little bit less sugar, and it would be sec, what means dry. We would call that kind of sweet. A little bit less sugar, and it'd be extra dry. I don't know why they switched to English at this point, but they do. Okay, a little bit less sugar, and you get to Brut, and then no sugar, no additional dosage at that last point is where Brut Zero or Brut Nature or Brut Nature. That's the driest one that's made. So you can tell that over time, they've pretty much come out, each generation of winemaker has come out with a new thing, and that new thing was always less sugar until about 25 years ago. And like now they're actually kind of a really easy to find, but even 15 years ago, it was very hard to find a Brut Zero or Brut Nature champagne. And now it's a pretty standard pour for every big house. So that's a little blurb on bubbles. Does anybody have any question about anything I just said? Or maybe why I said it?
So
Now,
Cava is the process, and then
No.
Brut is the amount of sugar.
Neither.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
cava means cave, but it's the euphemism the Spanish use to say they're making champagne style sparkling wine. So Spanish cava is method champenois, sparkling wine made in Spain, in a certain region. Almost all of it is made north of Barcelona before you get to the French border. The words that mean style is this one that says Brut. And that's the style. And the style is pretty much the residual sugar content, right? How much sugar they added right at the end to sweeten it or not sweeten it. And the method would be method traditional or traditional method, or I keep saying method champenois because that was the nomenclature for years, but they've now stripped that off labels for legal reasons. In the EU, the French were able to convince people that, no, we had to convince everybody but the Americans that they weren't legally allowed to use the word champagne. And so we said, okay, we're not going to call our thing champagne. But then at the bottom, it would say it's like made by the champagne method. And so then champagne folks came back and sued everybody again. It's like, no, seriously, just don't allude to us at all. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
and because these other regions outside of Champagne, France, could not use the word champagne, they had to go with these other words like cava in Spain and prosecco in Italy.
Exactly. Well, kind of. Yes, the short answer is yes. The longer answer to that is like Asti Spumante is made in a different fashion, right? Like it's famous. Remember, like the cheap Italian sparkling wine that we grew up with. Claire's looking at me like I got three heads. That's what I get the you're an old man look a lot. But when we were kids and you go and you buy the bargain bubbles, it was Asti Spumante. Remember those ads? bella. But that's Charmant method, meaning it's soda. They basically made wine, put it in a huge tank, put it under pressure, and did what brewers do today, which is pump it full of CO2. And then they bottle it just like a soda pop. That's method Charmant. Then if you make champagne method wine in France, not in Champagne, you usually call it, oh, wow, just dropped that word out of my head. You can tell if it's just north of the Spanish border, it's Blanquette. Everywhere else, it's this word's going to come to me in a minute. I'm sorry, I just dropped it. But there's a different word that connotates that method in, what is the name of it? This is embarrassing. Anyway, I'm going to come up with it. But in Italy, there's Asti, that's the tradition. Prosecco is the tradition, but Prosecco used to be made, instead of, it used to be made not spumante, it was made frizzante, which is bigger bubbles, less bubbles, softer bubbles. That's the traditional. But now when you buy Prosecco, because it's found a niche over the last like 20 years of being this like bargain champagne, especially the better Proseccos, they've upped the gas, the bubbles rather, not gas. They're not gassing it. They've started making a lot more Prosecco in the same champagne style, but that is not traditional. That is a reaction to market force that they've said, oh, there's a market here. We're going to make our Prosecco in this champagne style. Not like we used to do before, but in this way to get the atmospheres up so people can enjoy it in the same way, because not everybody can afford champagne in a champagne cocktail.
Is it Cremant?
Cremant. God damn it.
I cheated.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So you'll see in France, you'll see like Cremant de Loire, Cremant de Bourgogne, and it'll mean it's the champagne method wine made in either Loire or Burgundy or wherever the style. I think there's 7 regions you can do that. Okay. Groovy.
Awesome.
A word on wine. Okay, so moving right along. 75 shades of strawberry. Yeah. That's every bit of terrible a name as you thought it would be. So 75, because we're clearly stealing this build from the modern French 75 build. I say the modern because originally a French 75 was just a sour. And then what could make a sour better, but just pour champagne on top. Like originally it was like 2 ounces of booze, sugar, lemon, and then yet champagne. Now it's named after a French 75 millimeter cannon, because the idea was you drank it, it tasted good, but it hit you like you just got fired upon. It is usually credited, and this is what happens when we're looking at drinks and we're saying, you know where this came from? Usually we don't have any idea. And especially with good ones. The good drinks, it's, what's the saying? Success is 1,000 fathers, failure is an orphan. So we have no idea who actually came up with the martini, the Manhattan, the French 75. We know damn well the guy who won the contest and invented the sex on the beach. So, like I said, the really good ones, everybody claims. So the French 75 has adapted itself over the years and filled a really good spot behind the bar, which is that of a really delicious Royale. A Royale is just a name for a champagne cocktail or a cocktail with champagne. So you'll see instead of like 2 ounces of booze, now it's down to 1 ounce. And that is so it doesn't hit you in the way of being hit by our artillery cannon. And it's really pretty and it's really delicious. Now, a traditional French 75 is gin with a little lemon and a little clear simple syrup and bubbles with a twist. Really clean and simple. It's like a really fresh, refreshing, citrusy, ginny champagne. We're going to make this riff on it. And we're going to make this riff with strawberry because Why not? Now, the easy way to do it is do exactly what I said the first time. Let's make it French 75, but instead of using clear, simple, use strawberry syrup because it's delicious. But to make a larger point about the way that these drinks, these recipes are good templates to plug and play, we decided to say, hey, pick your spirit. If you want to reach for tequila, Danny, and you do, and Cheryl, sorry, you both get credit. I apologize. If you want to reach for tequila, do it, but compensate for that decision by switching to lime, right? Because it's tequila. Also, even if you stick with gin, if you're switching to strawberry, maybe you also switch to lime because strawberry likes lime. If you're using a barrel-aged spirit, like if your tequila is añejo, or if you're using cognac, Hennessy would be amazing in this. I think we all know Shannon loves Hennessy. But any like good barrel-aged brandy, even apple brandy, round, softer bourbons. I probably wouldn't go with a wheated or a high rye bourbon here, or rye, but a soft wheated bourbon would go well. But with all those, I would use lemon. Okay, but this is how we would do it. So first, we're going to start with a 1/2 ounce of our strawberry. Always the sweet first, because the acid second, because the acid's going to help us clean out our jigger. I'm going to put a 1/2 ounce of lime juice in here. Boom. And then I'm going to reach for my spirit. Oh, pressure now. Mezcal sounded really good too, didn't it? Yeah, I'm going to do it. Katati got me again. Now I'm reaching for the Vita from Del Maguey, which is pretty affordable. And I'm not reaching for some crazy single village $100 bottle of mezcal for this. Okay, so now in here,
Shannon,
what was that?
Is that,
Yeah.
is that the mezcal we had in the class a while back?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So if you got that handy and you like the class, maybe now. So in here we have a 1/2 ounce of strawberry, a 1/2 ounce of lime, or whichever citrus you chose, a full ounce of the spirit. We're going to find that if we're the Tennessee contingent, we're going to go to the freezer and get our wine glass. Otherwise, we're just going to have a wine glass right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add ice. I'm going to shake it like 4 times. We're not going to invest a lot of time and energy in shaking here. I do want to shake it because I want some bubbles and I want it to be cold, but I don't want to overshake it. Once again, I want the dilution to come from champagne or sparkling wine. Okay? Oh, I should say, have your hawthorn ready and your fine mesh ready. We're going to shake. We're going to strain with the hawthorn through the fine mesh into the target glass. There we go. That's it. That's all you got to do. As you counted, I lied. I went 6. It just felt like 6. There we go. Then that guy right there, just to the hemisphere, I might have added I may have gone 2.5, 3 ounces max. Yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. And then it says 4 ounces. I know. If you want to add more, add more. I got nervous. I'm thinking if I add any more, I might over dilute it. So I'm going to give it a sip. It's my drink. Yes, you could certainly add some more. Like I've added, this is about 3. You could certainly go for that 4th ounce. I'm choosing not to. If you want more bubbles, like you want it to be bubbly, make sure you go for all 4 ounces. If like me, you want the bubble to kind of tickle the edge, but really this drink to me is all about the mezcal strawberry love affair, then just stop at 3. There you have it.
The citrus is so good in it.
Isn't it though? Okay, how'd we do with that one? Yeah,
I used Cardinal Gin in mine
okay.
because I knew that there was going to be citrus, and it does well with citrus. And
yeah,
it
it's
was
just
very-
all orange and clove.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
We
good.
did too. We used the barrel rested cardinal gin.
Ah, did you use lemon then?
Yes,
Outstanding. That's a really good use for that product.
delicious.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. We got gin, we got barrel aged gin, we got mezcal, tequila.
I don't know if you can hear me, but I use barrel rested gin.
Okay, which one?
Chemist.
Chemist. Okay, outstanding. That's Asheville, is that right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
I use something called Napa Valley Old Hollywood Gin.
Napa Valley Old Hollywood Gin. Okay. Shockingly, I know nothing about that product.
Not bad, but not as good as Conniption.
Okay. Well, there it is. There it is. I'll be sure not to check it out. Who's that? Oh, hi, sister. Oh, okay. Sounds good. What do we got there in the top corner? Like they can tell who's in my top corner. What was that? Holly and Ross. How's it working out? Okay. We got waves. Yeah.
There we go. Got to work on the mute. Yeah, we actually did ours with vodka because that's what we ended up with, but it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good even with the vodka. Yeah.
I bet. It's vodka's not getting in the way of anything.
No, nice and easy.
Yeah. Nice and easy. Exactly. What was that? Outstanding. Yeah. Ross, I like how slow you were with that unmute. It's really, you're really presenting something. Like you're trying to, you want to like was those deep fakes. You're trying to make sure the boss thinks you're not used to unmuting with a drink in your hand.
I thought I knew the hotkey. I did not.
That doesn't work.
No.
It's just so hard to do it while drinking. I never do it like this, boss.
Normally I just tell them my camera's broken and got a glass of whiskey in the other hand, you know.
Outstanding. What kind of whiskey?
It depends on the day. Bullet or actually Scotch recently. Some monkey shoulder's been really good.
Okay. A little vatted malt, if you will.
Yeah.
William Morris. That's not William Morris. It's William Grant. That's what it is. I couldn't come up with their name yesterday. I'm dropping all kinds of names these days. Okay. Cool. Well, if anybody has any questions, feel free to shoot them out. Otherwise, I'm going to give you all a minute to wash your tools while I wash mine. Maybe make sure I didn't double check my work here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to work out just fine.
So yeah, we went with Tito's vodka and lemon, and it's delicious. Really enjoy
Yeah,
it.
nothing wrong with any of that. And the strawberry really is shining with that one.
Yeah, it absolutely comes through strong, and it's awesome.
Yeah, nice. So basically, what I mean by that is like gin is going to offer more flavor, right? Vodka's real plus or minus, depending on what you're trying to do with it, is that it's incredibly clean. So if like this mezcal is equal, it's an equal partner in the relationship of flavor with this strawberry syrup. Whereas if I'd used vodka, strawberry would clearly be dominating, which is good because strawberry is delicious. But so is mezcal.
Hey, Shannon,
Yes.
how would the flavor change if you didn't use cava and you use champagne or you use Prosecco. How
Okay.
would that change with strawberry or any of the other flavors that you're putting in there?
Okay, so that's a really broad in this way that depending on the mark, depending on the brand, all of these products can vary greatly. Okay, but as a general rule, if Cava is the neutral party, Prosecco is probably a little leaner and maybe brighter, like citrusy brighter.
Okay.
As this is general, there are hundreds of producers of both of these things, so there are clearly exceptions to what I'm saying. But then champagne would have the most body. Champagne will have the most tongue weight, and depending on if you use a big house like Vouv or Paul Roger, you're going to get just a truckload of oak on it, which those are quality products. That's not my favorite stuff. There's some great grower producers in Champagne that make more fruit forward expressions, and I generally prefer those. But either way, they're just going to have a lot more body than Cava or Prosecco, and often you'll get more toast on the nose.
So with cocktails, you should probably stick with the Cava then, unless if you're drinking champagne, drink the champagne by itself. Or
it's not that champagne can't make a delicious cocktail. It's that, okay, we've had the same discussion about products before, right? At a certain point, it's not necessarily about whether it's good or bad. It's like, what is $1 worth to you? And I don't know that if you find a reputable, delicious brand of Cava, that the champagne, especially in something like this, that's got an ounce of spirit, half an ounce of syrup, half an ounce of citrus, I don't know that the champagne is really going to bring anything more to the party that I want there. Like, I can imagine a really toasty champagne bringing a lot more to the nose, but I don't know that I want that on the nose.
Okay.
And yes, champagne, like Paul Roger, I went looking for some Paul Roger earlier this week. It's not coming in for months. Champagne can be delicious, but I almost always want it just in a glass. Just give me the champagne, cold.
very cold with lots of bubbles.
Very cold, lots of bubbles.
Thank you.
Something like, it's like 7 million bubbles. Some obscene amount of bubbles are in a bottle of champagne. We could probably Google that. How many bubbles in a bottle of champagne? Because I don't remember the number. I just quoted 7 million, but I'm admitting that that's wrong. But it's when I heard it, I was like, what? I'm sorry, 20 million.
20 million.
20 million bubbles in a bottle of champagne. Okay, that's a lot of bubbles. So one more quick note on how champagne or the method or the champagne method is I guess a neat part of the method is the riddling. So once you put the sugar and the yeast in and you put a crown cap, like a soda pop cap on there during that fermentation, they store it like that, like on its side. And then every day they give it a quarter turn. Every day, a quarter turn. And then they transfer it to a rack like this. And every day, a quarter turn. And then every day, a quarter turn. And then every day, a quarter turn. And months later, they're in these racks that are almost straight up and down. And they're turning it every day, a quarter turn. What they're doing is two things. A, making sure any live yeasts aren't covered by dead yeast, so the live yeast can keep eating the sugar. And B, when they're done, all of the dead yeast are in the neck. And they'll take this and they'll stick it in dry ice and pull it out, and they'll have this frozen slug, basically. They get rid of that, then they'll top off with fresh wine, the sugar that defines the style, and the cork. I've just always thought that was incredibly cool. And sometimes when you'll in wine places, you'll see those, they look like a sandwich board. It's like two boards, with a bunch of holes in them. And that's what that's for. Okay. Okay, if we have no more questions, we're going to move on to the third drink.
I really like how creative these drinks are, because normally one tends to put orange juice and champagne and call it a day. So this really makes it more interesting.
I'm not talking trash about the mimosa, but yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of really great riffs for Royales now, but it really came from the time, and that's, I think, the pressure of what was missing in the canon is why the French 75 morphed from this big drink to this modern expression where it's delightful and small. And bartenders now realize you can use that template. You know, you can mess with portions, you can mesh with everything, but you got a good idea of how to make a good cocktail with bubbles, and not just put orange juice. Okay, so we're gonna do an egg white cocktail here. And this is gonna be Hammock Daydream. I'd love to tell you what I was thinking when I came up with that name. I have no idea. But this one's gonna be really light, easy sipper, as you can tell. And it's kind of like a low gravity version of a gin fizz, if you think about it, right? So instead of gin, we're gonna use the Cocchi Americano. Instead of soda, we're gonna use sparkling wine. But basically, this is what we're doing here. So here we go. We're gonna, let me take, yeah, I do. Oh, here, no, that's not it. If I have a
Hey,
pint
Shannon,
glass. Yes.
What's the spirit on this one?
Okay.
Because it says lemon or lime depending on spirit, but there's nothing
But
listed.
there's no spirit asked for. That's hilarious. I forgot to write that in. It's again, dealer's choice. It's just gonna be a half an ounce.
Okay, that was a volume.
Yeah, sorry, there's a typo there, or a lack of typing there.
We'll forgive you. You drink a lot.
I do. It's a professional hazard. Okay.
So for those of us
go.
who are not professionals, did you say there is a spirit or there's not a spirit from what's listed?
Would you like there to be a spirit?
I just no, I want to do what's right.
Okay, what's right is yes. It's a general rule. And in this case, yes. I just forgot to type it, but it's a half an ounce of your choice. Okay, so just like the last one, we're going to use. Now, here's the delightful idea: is if you went with gin last time and you're having, like buyer's remorse, you're like, why didn't I do tequila? Now's your chance. Or if you went tequila last time and you're like, but I have this delicious Hollywood gin. Maybe I'll use that. Now's your chance. Okay, so we're going to build up from the line that says 3 dashes of Peychaud. Okay? See, and we're also going to demonstrate the difference between dashes and drops, because we're going to end this drink with some drops. So we're going to go 3 dashes. That's like a hot sauce dash. 1, 2, 3, like that. Then we're going to go half an ounce, heavy cream. We're not going to take very long building this because there's going to be citrus and cream in it. So we're going to want to shake it before something unsightly happens. Okay. Now, you've seen us do this a bunch. It looks like everything's in there. I'm never gonna remember the recipe, but if you'll notice, it's pretty much all half an ounce. So half an ounce of strawberry. Half an ounce of the Cocchi. Oh, that's sorry. There's a bunch of Cocchi. Half an ounce of the spirit. That's what it was. So I did mezcal last time. What should I do this time? Oh, that rum. Yeah. So I've got this Duquesne, which is a rum agricole from Martinique, which is just, it looks nice and clear and easy, but it's so funky, which, we're fans of. So spirit, which wasn't listed, half an ounce of heavy cream, half an ounce of our strawberry syrup, 3 dashes of bitters, and 2 ounces of the Cocchi Americano Bianco. Okay, now this is going to be, what was that?
Any lemon or lime, or that was?
We're gonna do right before I shake. I'm gonna put that in. Okay, I don't want it in there. It's gonna be fine that it's in there, but I don't want it in there a long time hanging out while I'm talking and building, hanging out with the cream. You know what I mean? As soon as I put it in there, there's gonna be an acid fat reaction. So I want to get my ice in there and start shaking pretty much immediately. Okay, I'm double checking. We're all good except for the citrus. So I'm going to put the citrus in here, 1/2 ounce. We're going to put ice in here. We're going to top it. We're going to shake it. Do we all know how to open the tins? So just in case you don't know how to open the tin, this is this perfect circle. We want to make this perfect circle, not a perfect circle, for just a second. And then when they're together, after you shake them to break the vacuum, you just hit it, but make sure this hand is on one side. So when you hit the other side, it's hitting against something. If you're holding it down here and you go to hit it, you're just going to knock the drink over. We got that? I've been having some issues lately.
Jim, when's the egg come in?
What was that?
When does
The egg's
the
going
egg?
to come in on the second shake.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, so here we go. 1/2 ounce of lime. Ice.
Would you use lime or lemon with mezcal?
Lime.
Lime.
I mean, lemon's not going to argue with the mezcal, but come on, lime.
So Shannon, let's
Desire.
say scenario, you worked ahead and added the lemon before you added the syrup and the
It's
Cocchi.
okay. It's going to work out fine.
Okay,
Just,
cool,
just
thank you.
keep going. Muddle through. Go
What
fast.
if I went ahead and added the egg?
Okay, don't add the ice yet. For you, if the egg's already in there, don't add the ice. Just start shaking.
Got it.
For the rest of us, throw everything in there. Shake it like 24 times. You'll feel the bottom of it nice and cold. Okay, so now we're going to open it. I'm going to keep one hand on this side. I'm going to pop right here, just the very top, like that. And it comes right out. If you hit just the very top. Okay? And then I'm going to take my Hawthorne strainer. I'm going to strain the drink out of the tin, back into the mixing glass. Okay, so what I've done is remove the ice. For the person who I said not to add the ice to, keep shaking.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, for everybody else, you're going to take an egg, we're going to crack it, we're going to, wish we were prepared enough. Okay, this is going to be good. Okay, so we're going to crack it, we're going to separate it. Just like when you're baking, we're going to separate the yolk. So fortunately, these tins have a nice sharp edge, so you can easily just crack, get my egg white in the tin, throw the egg away.
And the
wash
ice is
my
still in the
hands.
tin.
No,
Oh, we got rid of the ice.
we got rid of the ice.
Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen who didn't have any ice, just you, now add your ice. Okay?
On it. Got it. Thanks.
For everybody else, you're good. For everybody else, we've got egg white in here. We've got everything else in here. We're adding them together. Now we're just going to shake, like even if you just bounce it, you don't have to like. There's an English nanny joke in here. You can even do this, and then, while you're thinking, about whatever the day, I'm going to go ahead and find that object glass. In this case, this Collins. Get that one ready while I'm still shaking. Still shaking. Still shaking. So what we're feeling for, and I said feeling, because we're not counting, we're just feeling. You'll be able to tell when the egg starts getting fluffy or cloudy. You can kind of feel the textures difference in the glass. What was that? Okay, ice, you're probably good too. Still about just like 24 shakes. And so for everybody, we're gonna put our hand on this side. We're gonna hit just this top millimeter here to open it up. Oh yeah, that's gonna be great. So now I'm gonna take my Hawthorne strainer. Actually, I don't need a Hawthorne strainer. There's no ice in here. I'm gonna take my fine mesh strainer and just strain this just in case there's a shard of ice. Okay. Now, then I'm gonna just gently tap, tap, tap. There you go. I know you're all like, what do you mean there I go? I'm not there. What are you talking about?
Shannon, should I be concerned that I only have this much drink in my glass?
I can't see you, but probably not. Is it north of half?
Nope.
Oh yeah, you should be concerned. How many ounces is that glass?
Fine question. In theory, it was sold as a Collins glass.
Well, it could be a Collins glass, but like this guy
Yeah.
right here is only like a 10-ounce Collins. If you've got like a 14-ounce Collins, it's going to be a lot lower.
Yeah, I think this is either a 12 or a 14.
Okay, so you're probably fine as long as you got the measurements right. You got 2 ounces of Cocchi, half an ounce of lime, half an ounce of cream, half an ounce of strawberry, and a half an ounce of booze, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then you're good. Okay, so then I'm going to take this guy. If you want to get really fancy, you can take this and throw it in the freezer for like 4 minutes. Let it set up. We're not feeling that right now. We're feeling like another drink, right? So you can do a number of ways, but I'm just going to pour the slowest little pour. There you go. Then I'm going to take a straw. They're right there. Ooh, they're so colorful. Right through the middle of the foam. And because you got a good egg white fizzy thing, the straw will just stay like right straight up and down. And then 6 drops of Peychaud. Not dashes, just a drop. There you go. If you want to get froggy, you can take the back end of a spoon and like cut into it. Okay. There you have it. So before you start drinking and stuff, give it a look and give it a smell. And you'll see like the smell of strawberry, your base spirit, and that the Peychaud, all of that anise should really be just jumping out of the glass.
Very aromatic.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Cheers.
Is this technically a lift?
Yeah, I think so. Oh yeah. That's fun. And you can see how easy that is. And how the Cocchi Americano is really carrying the load flavor-wise. You're getting like kind of like melon. Okay. Feeling good. Okay.
So double the richness with cream as well as egg.
Yes. But you can see like our main spirit wasn't a spirit. So the viscosity was a little thinner, especially if you're adding, like if you're shaking it. So yeah, but gin, especially a Ramos gin fizz, a lot of old school gin fizzes did that, doubled with cream and egg white. Revisit this guy.
Hey, Shannon.
Okay. Yeah.
Shannon, are
Hey, Dan.
you, do you ever make egg drinks down at Alley, or is there just too much risk in that or liability?
No, there's always an egg white drink on the menu.
Is there?
Every night.
Didn't realize that.
Yeah, I think we got Claire's drink on the menu. What is the name of that? Oh no, we have the do we have the Jibe Ho on the menu? What do we have now? We just switched. We have the Jade Tree Sour on right now, which was one of our soon to be newest bartender. His name is Anthony Wu. And he helped us come up with a drink as a kind of a home and away with Dashi. Dashi put we're doing our tropical pop-up right now. So they put a drink on using 2 of our syrups called the Hawaiian Shirt. And we reciprocated by putting a drink on called the Jade Tree Sour in Dashi's honor. And we took matcha tea and infused Tanqueray with that. And it's like pineapple, orgeat, lime or lemon.
Ooh,
It's lime.
Sounds good.
Yeah. It's real fun. And it's egg white cocktail.
I saw the social media post about that. It looks so good.
Oh, it's good. It's good. I was happy about that. It was a good collaboration. And he is interested in showcasing some Chinese specific ingredients that don't get, it's not lychee. It's not like the 3 things that we use in drinks. So Claire and I were tasting some Baijiu, the Chinese spirit, and we found one that we really liked. So we ordered a case of that. So we're going to do probably another kind of Chinese drink that'll find at least some inspiration from Chinese flavors. But yes, Jade Tree Sour. And yes, Dan, egg white cocktails, always on the menu.
So great news. Adding the even though I'm the one who added the egg early.
Yes, fine.
Waiting to add the ice later, it worked out perfectly. They're fantastic. So thank you.
So that way you did it is the traditional method of doing it.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay.
There's cheers on my side. So thanks.
Yeah. So that
Thanks for
is the way I used to do it for years. We switched to this method after a while. I prefer this method, but the other one, I have made literally thousands of drinks with that method. It has worked. So it's just a preference.
Well, the drinks are awesome. So we were a little worried over here, but it worked out just fine.
Nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. You're worried about the egg white, or what were you worried about? What was the concern?
Just a little concerned that the egg white wasn't gonna come out right. Being
well,
overshaken or something of that nature.
No, you're great. You can't. That's the good thing. You can overshake a drink ice-wise, but you pretty much it would be very hard for a mortal man to overshake an egg white drink.
Good to know.
Yeah, I mean, you can get it there with like one of those. There's a couple of bars over the years that have done like novelties by figuring out how to use one of those paint can shakers, the machines that go and they'll put drinks in those. I think it's possible to overshake your egg white drinks like that, but other than that, no. Excellent. Oh, something we have to discuss, and this is becoming a kind of a regular portion toward the end of is we don't know what we're doing in January. Y'all said we were going to do sparkling wine in January, but y'all said you wanted to do it in December. So we changed it. But now we don't have a January program. We were shooting around the idea of tequila.
Well, Shannon, we put 4 glasses out. We still have a double old fashioned we haven't used.
Oh, Yeah, I think, oh, this is what I was gonna do with that. I changed last minute, I'm sorry. There's little things I
okay.
made at the beginning. I did that, it just seemed like a better way to begin. What I was gonna suggest is that you just taste this in a double old fashioned or on the rocks, because that's how we normally do it. Like if we have an aromatized fortified wine on the menu, I like people to get to taste it. Because so many people have never had vermouth by itself or a fortified aromatized by itself. That's normally, so that was just already on the thing. Sorry, I diverted, just because the idea of starting to drink sparkling wine first was too enticing.
That's okay, because we actually bought Nick and Nora glasses after last month's class, so we got to use them tonight.
There you go. Winning. Everyone's winning. Excellent. So Dan, any ideas for next month?
Well, the only thought we had was because of the coldness of January, would something, and maybe not all 3 drinks, but could you do some toddy drinks, hot toddy drinks?
That was another idea bandied about today. We will, no matter what, if we choose a spirit, I promise we'll do a toddy, or we could do all toddies. What do y'all think? Maybe just one more sip.
I'm going to go with yes.
Yeah, hot drinks in January sounds like a great idea.
Okay.
I would say different alcohol for 3 different toddies or something.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm down with
And
that.
maybe a brandy in there.
Okay.
I
Okay.
agree. I
Brandy.
don't know what a toddy is, so it would
A
be.
toddy used to mean something more specific. It was a very basic drink, like a little whiskey, maybe some sugar, and a peel of a lemon, a hot water. Or they used to have something called a toddy stick, right? You'd get some water and some whiskey in your glass, and you'd take the stick like a poker and stick it in the fire until it was glowing red, and you'd take that glowing stick and you'd stick it in the drink, and it would heat the drink up. So that's how the term toddy came to be, I believe.
Shannon, if you wanted to mix it up a little bit, could you throw in a kind of a mulled drink as well?
We could. The preparation for a mulled drink would be like, a 3-hour tour.
Okay. All right.
But and like put this in the crock pot. It'll be great. It'll be better. Really great in a few hours.
We got you.
But yeah, we could certainly do toddies. And I love the idea of switching spirits, but I mean, it would require everybody to have several spirits on hand. But it seems like everybody on this call has already fixed that problem.
I would say this is a problem. Why?
It'll make good use of all of the spirits that I have.
Hey, Shannon,
Yes.
Shannon, there's a comment in the chat on sake and sake drinks.
Okay. We could definitely do, I don't know that we're the bar for an all sake menu. But we can certainly get a sake and do a sake drink. But maybe we'll do that. We're gonna come back to that one. I don't know that I have quite the idea for using that properly. And sake is like wine. I mean, I know it's fermented more like beer technically, but what I mean is there's a lot of variation and style. So one thing we could do is a sake cocktail class and choose sakes from different styles and build it like that. But I don't know that we're necessarily the place for that.
Yeah, I think January is a warm drink month, so I'm all in toddies.
Got it. But we might do a sake cocktail even if we just throw something at dashi.
Yeah, I was going to say, Shannon, you should just Ultron it up with your neighbors across the street.
I love it. Yeah, they do have a good
I
amount of
like that
sake.
idea.
Yeah, well, we're currently doing a home and away right now, and we might continue to do it. Because, well, we're good neighbors. And good neighbors are important, right, Dan? Okay.
You have some sashimi on
I
there?
like the hot toddy idea, but I don't know if I missed it, but have you done brandy?
I don't know that we did April last year. We did brandy.
Oh, that was a long time ago. Can we do
It
brandy?
was. We're just all shocked that you're speaking, Ro. and loving it. I'm down for brandy as well. So tell you what, I think toddy got the vote, but brandy will be part of the toddy experience. That seemed like a good idea from the Tennessee contingent.
And Shannon, are we at the less than on topic questions portion?
Sure,
of the class?
go ahead. Yeah, we're done
All
with
right,
that.
So
we're done with
I
business.
I have ended up with a number of tangerines when I meant to get Florida oranges. How
Okay.
interchangeable? What other options do I have there?
Tangerines are great. They're just more intense, right? If you just taste it, you'll realize it's got a deeper, like kind of, I don't want to say darker, but like darker flavor. It's not so bright. Or at least the ones I just had the other day. Those are really good. Tangerine is a really nice, it is interchangeable. Let's just say you could just use it. You'll get a different result, but it'll also be delicious. So like if you were making a French 75, I don't know why that came to mind, and you use tangerine, it would be delicious, but it would distinctively be tangerine. Also, tangerine, if you've got any of our passion fruit syrup, tangerine makes great cocktails with passion fruit.
Bottle and a half.
This is going to work out just fine.
Yeah. Are there any spirits or syrups that it works better or worse with?
Well, passion fruit and spirits, rum, especially lighter rums. If you really want to like enjoy the nuance of the tangerine, darker rums are certainly going to get along fine. I mean, I wouldn't go with just OFTD unless I was tequila. But you know, but yeah, citrus is going to go well with gin. It's going to go well with rum. It's going to go well with tequila. It's citrus. It's orange-ish. So anything in the whiskey family, especially the American whiskey family, likes orange flavors. But I think it'd be better with rum or tequila or gin.
Roger that, sir. Next question. A couple of months ago at the rum class, you mentioned how good the plantation pineapple rum was, and I picked a bottle of that.
Yes.
What would you recommend I do with it?
Oh, so many things. So many things. I like a pineapple and tonic, pineapple rum and tonic, especially if you happen to have
Alley 26 tonic.
Oh, of course, but you have some Angostura lying around. A couple of 3 dashes. Actually, go ahead and at least 3 dashes of Angostura, and just use our normal build, and that is delicious in that. It's really great if you want to use it as like an entry. Like it depends on what you want to do. First thing, if I had that bottle, I would do that I did was taste it. You know, put it in a glass and like sip on it slowly. You know, get to know it, and then if I was making a drink, do you want a drink that is like all about it, or do you want a drink that like uses its qualities as an interesting member of the chorus?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a drink that we've done repeatedly over the years. It was kind of a Negroni variation. We call the vacation plan. It's on right now. I'm being told it's on the menu right now by the person who writes the menu.
At your bar right now, I do not look at the menu because I just become sad that I'm not quite comfortable enough to sit and drink for an hour or two yet.
Got it. Well, when you're there, we'll be there, hopefully. And you come in and get stuff. So we couldn't be more thankful. So that vacation plan is equal parts pineapple, rum, Amaro Montenegro, and Cap Course. You remember the Cap Course? We used it in one of the classes. I don't know if you were in that class. The Cap Course Blanc.
Delicious.
But if you don't have Cap Course Blanc and you use this, the drink would also be tasty. Do you have Montenegro?
Yes, I do, sir.
This is going to work out just fine. We floated dehydrated pineapple, but seriously, just drink it. Okay, so that one splits the difference. You know, it's an important co-star in that drink. If you wanted to do like it being the star of the show, I would build like a simple, almost Manhattan or martini kind of variation with 2 ounces of it in a stirred cocktail, and find some things on top that go really, really well. For that particular one, like a dry vermouth would be really, really good. Especially if you cut that with maybe a shorted quarter ounce of pineapple syrup. So dry vermouth, 2 ounces, dry vermouth, half an ounce. Whew, that was a lot of dry vermouth. And then just a short quarter ounce of a pineapple syrup. We happen to make one. And then
you do?
We happen to make a pineapple demerara. It's definitely going to change the color of the drink.
I have
but
the
it's gonna be
pineapple
quite-
demerara. Excellent. Good. Good.
So maybe 3 dashes of Angostura on that. I just happen to like Angostura with rum, so I'm going to keep saying Angostura. But there are some other bitters options. So that is like the real spirit forward thing. Stirred, strained, up in a nice coupe. If you want something where it's in the mix, find a nice tropical drink you like that has pineapple in it, like a Jungle Bird if you're the modern hipster bartender, or any of the old rum and pineapple drinks, like any of them, and use that, or use it in a Mai Tai. Usually a Mai Tai is split between a dark rum and a light rum. If you use that in the light rum's place, it's nice.
All right.
Okay.
I don't want to hog you. I've got one more question, but if somebody
Okay.
has one, I'll let them ask.
Shannon, quick question. We've got
Yes.
half a bottle of Cava left. Any tricks of the trade on preserving that for drinks for tomorrow?
Yes. Do you have a champagne stop?
Do not.
Okay. Claire said she'd lend you one.
All right. Yeah, she did mention that. What's a just for us uneducated, what's a champagne stop?
Sure, I've got one over here. So it's basically it's right here. So it's this. They come in different looks, but it's like this. It's like you can see into it. This goes over the glass and it's on a spring. So it seals the top and it's spring loaded so that the bubbles, the pressure can't escape. What you're trying to let not happen is the pressure and the bubbles escape. So that's a champagne stop. Or you can saran wrap and hair tie if you're a young lady of a certain a female MacGyver.
Okay, great.
That's what Claire does when she has more than one open.
All right, Shannon. This young lady who's a MacGyver has a question. My final question, because I totally have saran wrap and hair ties.
Yeah.
Similar question to Dan's, but for the heavy cream.
Put it in the refrigerator.
How long is that going to last? How long?
Heavy cream?
Yeah.
Mine says January 17th. It's like milk, but just longer.
Okay, cool. It's not something I keep normally.
It'll last quite a while.
What was that, Kurt?
It'll last quite a while. I mean, more than the date.
Yeah.
So.
And you can actually freeze cream. If you're trying to make whipped cream in the future, it won't work as well, but you can actually stick it in the freezer and then use it in something that calls for cream, like a cake or something.
Or some people put cream in their coffee.
Yeah, I used half and half, and it was like 2 weeks out of date. It was fine.
And I used soy milk, and Leah used almond milk, and it still worked.
Okay.
I'm lactose intolerant, Curtis. You're way braver than I am.
Wait, you're
Well,
talking
you know
about
what that
preserving
works.
heavy cream and you're lactose intolerant?
I take lactate.
Okay, got it. Defensive measures. I like it.
Hey, John,
The syrups.
have I got a deal for you? Look what we found at Harris Teeter.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
So-
It worked great.
It's a whole new world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Science.
great. This is something to know. Okay, great.
Soy base. Worked awesome.
Excuse me?
How long will the syrups last, Shannon, once opened?
A couple of 3 months. But seriously, in the fridge, of course, but seriously, just use them.
Oh, yeah. I have an assortment, so I was just asking.
Oh, yes, you do. I apologize. I don't apologize. And we got a question. Where am I? I'm at Crook's Corner in Chapel Hill. We are closed here currently, so I am using the facility.
You know, Shannon, you should have a class 1 month just on how to use up all of our leftovers.
Okay, that's honestly my cooking style. My wife lets me cook once a week, and I'm only allowed to use what's already in the refrigerator. So I usually make several courses out of leftovers.
Oh, seriously. I mean, we have, I don't know what, like a dozen
13 bottles
with little bits of syrup or whatever in them.
Okay, so the syrups, you have an open bottle of champagne. I just told you a 1/4 ounce, or not champagne, you have Cava, or if you have sparkling wine. A 1/4 ounce in one of those is perfect. If you're having guests over, they'll think you came up with something. And especially if it's a berry or a fruit, go with that. If it's one of those, any of the flavors are good on ice cream.
Yep.
Any of them are good on custards. I like the tonic in my coffee. If you need a sweetener in your coffee, use the original tonic or even the tropical tonic. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This excites me, Shannon.
What was that?
Excited by that idea.
Well, and it's good in coffee cocktails. So, I mean, it's good in just morning coffee. So if you think about it, there's lemongrass, which is not really citrus. There's a hint of lemon, but there's mostly the flavor of our tonic comes from cinchona bark. So cinchona bark brings a little bitterness, a nice little bit of bitterness, a lot of woodsy flavors and spices, which are notes you're kind of looking for in coffee anyway. So it really pairs incredibly well. In fact, I didn't come up with this. We started selling it to coffee shops in the area because espresso tonic is a thing, not just our tonic. It's a pretty classic thing. So yeah, put it in coffee, and certainly if you're going to make a coffee cocktail. And then you could also use the rest of your heavy cream. You put it in a tin with the spring of a hawthorn and maybe a big ice cube, put it in there and shake the crap out of it for quite a while. And then you have a really decadent whipped cream. And you put that right on top of your coffee that's got tonic in it, and you're having quite the day.
So for an average size mug of coffee, how much tonic would you toss in that?
A short 1/2 ounce. How sweet do you like your coffee?
Shannon, you might recall some years ago when I told you I often put Ovaltine in my coffee.
Oh, it's true. That's true. I do remember that. But yeah, okay. I was just chalking that up to the rest of your diet. Yeah, so you don't mind it a little sweet, is what you're saying. Let me just, because for folks born after 1955 that don't know what Ovaltine is. So yeah, a 1/2 ounce. And if it's not sweet enough, you can always keep pouring.
And Shannon, we've all seen A Christmas Story. Everybody knows what Ovaltine is.
Well, you know that it comes with decoder rings and Little Orphan Annie. You don't necessarily know that it's a delicious chocolate malt beverage.
Oh yeah. So there's HBO has a new Christmas movie. And first of all, HBO is Max, the app is streaming Christmas Story and Christmas Story 2, which I don't believe is worth watching. But Christmas Story is on HBO, but they also have one they've just made with Neil Patrick Harris and some other folks. It's quite good, but it's, instead of the nostalgia for the early 60s, late 50s, it's nostalgia for the 80s.
Yeah, I've seen it advertised. It's like 8-bit Christmas or something. It's
8-bit Christmas, exactly.
I am the target demographic.
We are all the target demographic for that. It's lovely. I'm glad I watched it the other night. The only issue I have with it is the family doesn't have a lot of money, but they had all of the things that we remember from the 80s, but I remember them being very expensive. I was like, we couldn't afford that. What are you talking about?
So on champagne alternatives, I hate to ask.
Yeah, please.
But what about Gruet?
Gruet? Nothing from New Mexico?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. Their rosé is delicious.
It's a nice inexpensive alternative. It's more expensive than it was, but
it's certainly a lot. When I first discovered it, I was like, well, I think when they first discovered it, they were still overcoming the pushback that they were from New Mexico. But once they made everybody believers, they priced it accordingly.
It was like 10 or $11 a bottle back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. It was good. I don't, my problem with Gruet now is that it's actually not that much of a value.
Yeah.
It's fine. I will definitely, if offered, I will receive graciously. But I would probably buy the one we had tonight before I bought Gruet. And I believe Avinyo is available not only at Alley 26, but at most of the good wine shops in the area.
Are you sure about that? Because I looked and couldn't find
where'd
it
you look?
anywhere, and actually had
Total
to
Wine
look
or
from
something?
Yeah, a couple of places like that.
They probably have it. They probably have it at Wine Authorities. They probably have it at Hope Valley. No, they don't. I'm getting that they don't. They probably have it at Hope Valley Bottle Shop. But, Wine Authorities is a little different because they do a lot of DIing, direct importing, and their guy doesn't do a lot of Spanish. But I like Wine Authorities a lot, but they don't have this one. Okay, cool. I've got my marching orders for toddies. Is there any other questions? I cannot see the screen from here as far as if you're typing stuff.
Everyone typing is just saying they're leaving.
Ah, okay. Sounds good. Well, then I too am going to follow suit. Thank you all very much. I really appreciate you all tuning in, joining me here from the netherworld of Chapel Hill.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Thanks, y'all. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
You're
Thank
immense,
you.
Shannon. See you in
Appreciate
January.
it. Thank you, John.
We appreciate your support staff, even though you don't give them credit.
Thanks, Claire.
I definitely saw her hand grab drink number 2.
I did see your hand a
And
couple times.
1 and 3. Yeah,
3 and 4 right there.
I got him back. Yeah, I had to rest. Yeah, Mom.
We all know this wouldn't happen without Claire.
Of course not. Of course not.
Thanks, Susan. Shannon, you did your mama proud.
Thanks, Mom. Appreciate it.
I liked all the drinks.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad.
Bye-bye.
I figured it's better that you start with sparkling than scotch.
Yeah. Thank
But we'll
you.
get you. We'll get you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye, Mom.
That's so nice.
See y'all.